All right, let's do new releases.
Okay. The Switch came out.
Yay!
Yay! I have been playing a lot of Zelda.
Are we doing now? How are we doing our Switch talk? Are we just going to do like the games now, and then we'll get to the hardware later?
Yeah, let's just do the game.
Okay. Well, games
because you haven't played any. Wait, no, you have played something else.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, you played. Let's start with Snipper Clips then, because I have not played that yet.
Okay. So Snipper Clips, it's a fun, cute puzzle game that I played with Mrs. Cheapy. You use the Joy-Cons horizontally. You each use one.
Do you have to use those, or can you use 2 Pro controllers?
I do not know.
Okay. I'm trying to avoid...
What are you? I'm the 1%. Ship's got 2 Pro controllers, and I'm the 1%.
Of course I do. I'm trying to avoid using those Joy-Cons at all. Like,
I don't blame you.
By all means necessary.
I don't blame you. But, and you have these two, each control a character, and when you overlap, you can cut each other out to make different shapes. Excuse me. I have to belch while I talk about Snipper Clips. You cut out different shapes, and you do that, and you solve different puzzles, whether it's just matching a certain shape that they display on the screen or getting a basketball into a hoop. There's different little puzzles and challenges for you guys to do together. It's $20. I thought it was pretty cute and fun. Mrs. Cheapy seemed to get tired of it pretty quickly. I played with Ty for a little bit. He didn't seem like that into it. I mean, it's cute. I would recommend it. It also seems like it could be a $5 iPad game, but hey, it is what it is. I would say it's probably the second best game in the launch, not having played any other games besides Zelda.
Well, I mean, Skylanders Imaginators is good.
Right. I guess that's true.
Shovel Knight is an excellent game.
Right.
I
take that back.
game for the first time tonight.
Which one?
Okay.
Shovel Knight.
Which version?
The PlayStation version, PS4.
The first game, or one of the Spectre of Torment?
I think it's the first game.
Are you playing as Shovel Knight?
Yes.
Okay, it's the first game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Go.
Do you like it?
What do you think?
Oh, I think it's fine.
Are you
played
reading
the first
Twitter?
level.
Are you reading Twitter right now?
No, I'm not.
Right.
I thought he said something else.
Okay.
Yes. So
you have to hand out a major award soon. I don't want you messing around on Twitter.
Yeah. No, I'm not on Twitter at all, actually. But anyway, no, it's very good. I played the first level. I died 22 times, according to the old witch woman in the town, after I beat the first level. So I'm not very good at it. But
no, you are not.
No. I just said it. I died a lot at the fight at that boss at the end.
This is on Switch, right? There's like a special Switch version or something?
Well, there's basically three games in the Shovel Knight series. They're all considered kind of downloads or DLC. The Shovel Knight Treasure Trove has all three things in there, I believe. Or you can just buy Spectre of Torment, which is the new one.
Got it. All right, so
yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah,
I don't know that I'm going to buy it again for Switch, simply because I have the other Shovel Knight for a couple different consoles already.
Well, I think if you own it on the PlayStation 4, when that content comes out, it's going to be a free download if you already own the game. But if you don't own the game, it's the $25.
Ooh.
Gotcha.
Which is why I bought it on the PlayStation 4 when it was on sale for $10 before it went up to $15 and then went up again to $25.
Dude, this guy's on top of it.
No, I just read that on Twitter from, I think it was Wario on Twitter who was... who tweeted that out, and I was like, oh, I guess, well, I waited long enough, and $10, I'll just won't buy lunch today. It all works out.
I'm sure that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Every time you say something like that, I get a tweet from a guy who tells me to buy you everything. And then you don't tell him to stop doing that, and he just keeps doing it.
A, it's funny as hell, and B, I could stand to not have a lunch one day.
I have to. No, that's not healthy. You're an active man. You need energy. You need fuel for your body, Wombat.
This engine needs fuel.
You can't. You're working a busy day at the office. You got to get home. You don't just teleport home. You got to brave the New York City hustle and bustle.
And it is a hustle and a bustle.
It is. I went into the city 3 times this week to play table tennis.
Wow.
I was in training for a table tennis tournament for this weekend, so I decided to go a lot this week. And then 3 days before the tournament, they announced that they actually don't have access to the facility in Manhattan. It was supposed to be at FIT, and now they had to move it in the middle of New Jersey somewhere. And now I'm not going.
And just to confirm, Shovel Knight is back up to $25 now on PlayStation 4.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
So,
none of us have played that Bomberman game, correct?
I can't bring myself to spend $50 on that.
I cannot
at the moment.
No.
Oh, just talk about the game everyone's here for. Tell me how Zelda is.
Ship.
I think Cheapy and I have very differing opinions on how Zelda is my guess. We haven't really talked about it. I've just seen his tweets, and I'm sure he's seen some of mine.
I'm just wondering maybe we don't have different opinions, because you don't seem like you're giving it a 10 out of 10 from your tweets. And you've played a lot more than I have, but I'm just wondering where the 10 out of 10 is at this point in my playthrough.
It may never be there for you, but it's deserving of it. This is a fantastic game.
Okay.
It's Japan's Grand Theft Auto is what this is. Like, it's got all of the open world to it, and it's got so many different like systems and mechanics built in there, and like so many like unique like opportunities to have in the game. It's just a really tight like game, is like for an open world type thing. It's similar to like Far Cry, where you go in and there's little installations. Like this isn't even like a major portion of the game, but like you'll come up on like little like outposts that have enemies in them, and by taking out all the enemies, a chest will come up.
I've done that several times.
Yeah, and the variety of ways you can get through that is fantastic.
I just walk up and I hit the guy with the club, and he dies, and then I take the chest.
You can do that.
What other way would you do it?
That gets harder as you face harder enemies.
Okay.
You may be running low on supplies, or you might come up against a group of enemies that will kill you in one hit, which happens quite a bit in this game.
Yeah, I saw the blue guy.
So just for an example, like they're usually like hanging out in like skulls, like skull caves type looking things. It looks like a skull that they're sitting in. And a lot of like the harder enemies will be in there sleeping inside the cave. And there'll be like little guys on watch, like in towers outside of it. So you can like stealth around and shoot those guys outside with bow and arrow. And then a lot of times, well, at least a few of the ones I found, I don't know if it's a lot of times because this game is huge, but the eyes will be glowing with flames. Like they'll have like candles burning in there. And if you shoot an arrow in through one of the eyes, then the fire will drop down and explode barrels and everything that's inside with the harder to kill enemies. And so you can take them out that way. Or you can just brute force it like you were saying. But,
wait, I can shoot a flaming arrow through the cave hole?
Yeah.
Through the eye hole in the skull cave?
Yeah. It's
all right.
Fire. Like this game has a great fire system where like if enemies are shooting at you with fire and you get out just a normal arrow, like if you get close enough to that fire, your arrow will become a fire arrow. It'll just come on fire. That's amazing. Like I don't recall another game doing that. Surely they might be
do.
somewhere out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Far Cry games had, dynamic fire, but it sounds a little different.
Did you pull out a bow and arrow, and then if you got close enough, your arrows became fire?
There's definitely games that have done that before. No question.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, maybe Far Cry Primal, that could be something that was in there, but who knows?
It could be.
That's the only game I can think of that would have that mechanic and a bow and arrow.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. It's a big game, and there's a lot of little mechanics to it that make it special.
How does it look?
It's got an art style to it.
Right. The art style is nice, but technically it doesn't look great.
For a tablet game, it looks fantastic.
Sure. There you go.
I mean, that's what this thing is. It's a tablet. So if you put it in those terms, you're blown away that you can be playing this thing on a tablet.
Well, I don't know that I was blown away by playing it on a tablet. But
I think you have a very different, there's certainly plenty of rooms to just still improve this thing and make it even more Western friendly. Starting with voice acting, get some voice acting, consistent voice acting in this thing.
Right.
It's really strange that they have people come in and record 2 lines of dialogue for a cutscene, and then you are talking to that person and it's 20 straight text bubbles. I think that needs to go. The text bubbles need to go at this point.
Here's the real question: would I like this game?
Yes, you would adore this game, Wombat.
All right, then. That solves that problem.
Should I keep playing this game with the Pro Controller on the TV set? I played a lot.
How far are you? How many towers have you climbed? How many shrines have you done?
No. I just got the hang glider, and
Okay, so you're off the plateau.
Yeah, I'm off the plateau, and maybe I've done a shrine or two from there. Is that something?
Okay. That's something. I mean, there's over 100 shrines.
Oh, that's a lot.
I've done somewhere between 25 and 30 shrines at this point.
So what's the point of doing a shrine? Is that where the Triforce is?
The shrines for every 4 that you do, and shrines are basically mini dungeons. They're all puzzle oriented for the most part. Some of them are go in and defeat this enemy, but the majority of them are use the powers that you have, which in this Zelda game, it's very different than other Zelda games. You get all your powers, or the majority of the powers, very early on in the game. So you get your magnet power, and you can summon ice bricks, and you can stop time on objects. So it's using those powers for the most part on these shrines. But every 4 shrines you get through, you get a orb that you can then turn in for either a heart container to extend your life, or a additional stamina bar. And stamina is also new to Zelda. At least I haven't played the last few games all that religiously, so I don't remember, but I believe stamina is brand new. Because that comes into play a lot with just exploring. It's not stamina doesn't really affect your combat. It's not like a Dark Souls type of thing, where you swing and then you get tired. But it's rather, you can only climb so high up a mountain before you fall off, or you can only run sprint for so long, or swim for so long, that type of thing.
I can relate to all these things you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, you have stamina.
Right. If you run out of
stamina, I've heard.
If you run out while you're swimming or climbing, you die.
Yep. There's a lot of dying in this game, which is different for a Zelda game as well.
Is it frustrating? How far back do you start? If you die in a dungeon, do you have to start from the beginning of the dungeon again?
There's not many dungeons. I've only done 1 dungeon so far. I think there's going to be 4 just main dungeons, and beyond that, I'm going to guess there's a couple more in-game type of things. If you die in a dungeon, no, you don't go back to the very beginning. It saves as you get the little Zelda jingles. So
Ty was like, "What is that?"
Right. It's not that frustrating to die, really. And there's a lot of crafting as well. So you can like pick up all kinds of things out in the wilderness, just like any open world game. But they're mainly important because you're not going to find like hearts that pop out of bushes or anything to refill your life anymore. You have to like make meals, and those meals also can have different effects, like making it so you can walk in like the cold temperature areas, or giving you like a damage boost, that type of stuff. So it's a really like deep mechanics game.
I didn't know
that everybody in the game is really horny.
Really?
Yes.
Frustrated
it's
Japanese.
Weird. It is weird. Yeah, there's a lonely arrow girl that is talking about. She's some like thing that I was reading. I don't know, like in game, like reading a diary or something, and she's talking about how the guy that just came in town really looks like he knows how to use a bow, and he hopes that he comes by and notches an arrow because it's been so long.
Wow.
Yeah, it's odd.
They're horny. Japanese people are really horny.
Right. Everybody in Hyrule is really horny as well.
Is it Hyrule or is it Horn Rule? Huh? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
All right.
But what are your thoughts, Chibi? Why do you hate this game?
I don't hate it. I never said I hated it.
We know you hate it, so why do you hate it?
I didn't see a huge difference. I mean, between other open world games that I've played before, except this one is more Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
I get why people like it. I see it. I'll keep playing it. My pro.
You're never gonna love it. Just not your thing.
Couldn't it be my thing?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're enjoying Horizon more.
Right. I think you're just going to keep on wondering why it's not like the Western open world games, which is a perfectly valid argument as well, because it definitely is borrowing from all the other open world games that you've played.
Right. Yeah. That was my impression when I played it, but that's fine. Maybe I'll play a little more. I let Ty play a little bit, and we take turns. So we'll keep you updated.
The weapons breaking like crazy is it's unnecessary at the beginning. It gets better as you go on.
It's pretty tedious.
Because you get stronger weapons, and then you learn to just not care that your weapons are consistently breaking.
I just don't want to have to constantly select new weapons.
It gets better. I think they paced the beginning to where your weapons were breaking way too much, and you were coming across new weapons that you were like filling up your inventory too quickly at the beginning.
I had like 8 of these shitty clubs.
To drop stuff. Right. It's odd that they bury the tutorials just in like hidden shrines throughout the game. Like I was over 15 hours into the game. I had missed a shrine that was in like one of the early villages that taught me how to like parry attacks and like backflip out of the way of attacks.
Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that shit.
Right, because they put it into a shrine that you could conceivably miss for the entire game. So that's a little bit weird, but I don't know. It's definitely built into the design of the game as you're not quite sure what all is going on.
Right. Horizon's better. Sorry, sore throat.